Hey guys, it's Kathleen, and today I'm going to be doing the classics book tag. So I'm getting kind of tired of saying this, but this was not the video I planned on filming today. I just don't have a lot of time to film today, so I'm doing this in a quick rush before I'm going out tonight. So yeah, this is the video you're getting. I was psyched to do this tag by Ren from A Bookish Balance, and it seems to have been created by a blogger called It's a Book World. So I'm going to link both their channels down below in the description, but without further ado, let's get into the question. Question number one is an overhyped classic you really didn't like, and I technically haven't finished this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Dracula by Bram Stoker. So I'm reading this book for class right now and it sucks. I hate this book so much. It's so boring. It's just nothing's happening. He just describes things over and over again and I'm like, okay, but like when are we gonna get to the point? Like I'm halfway through it and that's at the point when like finally someone else has been turned into a vampire and I'm like, come on, you could have accomplished this like 100 pages before. It's just really stupid. And I remember actually recently I saw someone else's video on why they DNF'd this book and they talked about the sexist elements of it, which I didn't notice at first and then I couldn't stop noticing it. Like there's other examples other than this, but there's this one bit where it says, "You're a man and no mistake. Well, the devil may work us against for all he's worth, but God sends us men when we want them." What are the men needed for? They're needed for a blood transfusion for Lucy, because apparently women's blood just isn't good enough. I can understand wanting to read this book if you just want to understand like that point in literary history, but just for personal enjoyment, this book is garbage and I don't recommend it. Next question is, what is your favorite time period to read about? And for that, I think I'm going to say the first half of the 20th century. I'm just really interested in that. I have like no specific reasons, but a lot of my favorite books like The Great Gatsby, Real of Ingleside, different things like that have come from that time period. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that. Question 3 is, what is your favorite fairy tale? And to be honest, I don't have one, so I'm just gonna skip over this question because I didn't want to lie. Question 4 is, what is the classic you're most embarrassed to not have read yet? And I'm gonna say Emma by Jane Austen, only because I've put this on a lot of TBRs, and I love Pride and Prejudice, and I really want to get into more of Jane Austen's books, and I feel like I can't really call myself a Jane Austen fan if I've only read Pride and Prejudice, so I do want to get to Emma, and yeah, I don't like admitting I haven't read it yet because I really do want to read it. I just keep putting it off. Question 5 is the top 5 classics you want to read soon, and I think I'm going to say Emma, Sense and Sensibility, The Picture of Dorian Gray, 1984, and Barney's version. Question 6 is your favorite modern book or series based on a classic, and for that I'm going to say The Lunar Chronicles. So those, if you don't know, are all based around fairy tales, and they're basically this sci-fi series where Cinderella is a cyborg, and then there's also featuring Scarlet, which is Little Red Riding Hood, Crest, which is Rapunzel, and then Winter, which is Snow White. And it's just a really cool, unique retelling. I've done it a bunch of times, I've talked about it a million times on my channel, but yeah, I really like it. It's a really good series, so I totally recommend it. Question 7 is your favorite modern movie or TV series based on a classic. And this is cheating, but I'm gonna say The Lizzie Bennet Diaries because I love The Lizzie Bennet Diaries with all my heart. They're literally my happy show. When things go wrong in my life, I watch The Lizzie Bennet Diaries. They're so good. If you are a fan of Pride and Prejudice, or even if you're not, then just look them up because they're amazing. Yeah, I have no more thoughts on that, but I just love them. Question 8 is the worst classic movie adaptation, and guys, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about Anne with an E, the TV series. So you probably know by now Anne of Green Gables is my favorite book. I collect copies of it. I've seen the Kevin Sullivan version of the show like so many times. I love it. And I've read a bunch of other Lucy Maud Montgomery books. I love her writing style. It's just a really special story to me. It's very close to my heart. And then Netflix got a hold of Anne and they decided they were gonna remake it. And it's not good. Basically what they did is they tried to make it more modern. Like they incorporated contemporary issues into it, which makes sense. Like those were issues back in the day for sure. Like there's some good changes, like they show Anne having PTSD, which is something that's a good thing. I think that's something I could find believable. And they showed her dealing with the fact that, oh, Matthew and Marilla don't think she's good enough to do the work that a boy could do around the farm. And I'm like, that's realistic. I could see that. Then they also just changed so many plot elements of the show that I could not deal with it. They made it ridiculous and over the top and such a silly show. You might recall the Marilla's brooch incident if you're familiar with the book, but basically there's this thing where Marilla thinks that Anne has stolen this brooch that Marilla has misplaced, and obviously it turns out Marilla just put it somewhere and she didn't realize it. But in the show they turn this into this big dramatic thing where Anne like runs away and Matthew has to go after her at the end of the first episode. It's really silly. I don't like it. There's too many changes. It's not great. I think the actress who plays Anne does a good job, but other than that, I just don't like it. The next question is favorite editions you'd like to collect more classics from, and I'm gonna say the word cloud editions. These are beautiful. I'm obsessed with them. Obviously, this is my copy of Anne of Green Gables, but in general, they're so nice. Like, there's Pride and Prejudice one. There's a ton of them. Honestly, there's Little Woman. There's so many great ones. They make me want to buy classics I don't even like. So I'm very, very fond of these. It has the prettiest things, like all these quotes and everything on the front. I just love them. They're bound so beautifully. Like, the inside has the carriage drawing of Matthew and Anne. I love it. This is one of my favorite editions ever of a classic, so yeah, I'd love to have more of them. If anyone wants to buy me some, then hit me up. And finally, question 10 is name an underhyped classic you think everyone should read. And I'm actually going to go against the grain here. I'm not going to say Lucy Maud Montgomery book, but I am going to say Candide by Voltaire. I read this a couple years ago for school. I was a required reading and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. This is definitely not like a young person kind of book. Like, it's very much mature humor, I guess you could say. It's kind of gross at times, but I liked the philosophical elements of it so much that I really just enjoyed the story. I liked it so much. I thought it was so funny. I wrote an essay on this book that's probably my favorite essay I've ever written still. I don't think it's underhyped in the sense that no one has heard of this book, but I think it's underhyped in the sense that I don't think people would just pick it up. It's not really one of those books that you would read for fun, but it should be, because it's actually just a really entertaining book, and I highly recommend it. Pretty much it for this tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick short video. For this, I think I'm gonna tag Kristen from Kristen's Library and Rhiannon from CrescentMoonReads. I don't know how much in classics they actually read, but whatever. You guys are tagged anyway. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe on your way out if you're new here. I upload videos every Tuesday and Friday with occasional bonus uploads throughout the week, though those haven't been happening lately. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, the links will all be in the description, but in the meantime, I will see you guys next time.